Last question we discussed poetry. 24 paper එකේ 23 24 23 24 critically examine how Protestant struggle are portrayed. At least 3 poems from your syllabus. Paying special attention to similarities and differences in their treatment of these themes. Am I correct? We discussed that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Or critically analyze one of the following. The descriptions of beauty, both natural and human-made, in at least 3 prescribed poems. Write like this question. 23-24 paper. Question number 8, part C. Part C1. Question number 8, part C1. Right? Question number 8, part C1. Right, like this. Critically analyze. Critically analyze one of the, critically analyze one of the following. Right. The description of beauty, both natural and human-made. The description of beauty, both natural and human-made, in at least 3 prescribed poems. The description of beauty, both natural and human-made, in at least 3 prescribed poems. In your syllabus, for your A-level, what are the poems to? Poems of describing beauty, natural and human-made. I got to tell you, natural and human-made. Yes. Beauty, both natural and human-made. So, one is Ode to a Nightingale. Right? One is Ode to a Nightingale, natural beauty. Second, to Snowdrop. To Snowdrop. Third, Spring and Fall. Spring and Fall. Next, Design. Yes. That's all. Ode to a Nightingale, okay. To a Snowdrop. Spring and Fall, Design. Spring and Fall, Design. Right. Design, yes. Right, like this.
සර් මොකක්ද ක්වෙස්චන් එක මට කට් වුණා.
Question එක 2023 question number 8 part C 1. Critically analyze one of the following. Hurry. Critically analyze one of the following. The description of beauty, both natural and human-made, in at least 3 prescribed poems. एक monkey 3 prescribed poems. The description of beauty, both natural and human-made, in at least 3 prescribed poems. Right. එතනදි මං කිව්වා අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් මොනවද? Ode to a Nightingale, To a Snowdrop, Spring and Fall, and Design. Start like this. In our syllabus, there are 4 poems that describe natural and human-made beauty. Human-made beauty. Yes. One poet is John Keats. John Keats. The leading romantic poet who celebrates the natural beauty through his poem Ode to a Nightingale. Ode to a Nightingale. Yes. The father of Romanticism in England, William Wordsworth, writes the poem to a snowdrop. Exaggerating the beauty of nature. Yes. Robert Frost. And Robert Frost, in his poem Design, and the Victorian poet Gerard Manley Hopkins, in his poem Spring and Fall, also do the same. Do the same. Yes. New para. John Keats the leading nature romantic, the romantic nature romantic and others, for example, political thoughts also romantic, nature romantic, composing his relatively long poem Ode to a Nightingale shows how far mankind can entertain the natural beauty that pleases, P-L-E-S-E-S, pleases both Ears and minds, EARS, ears and minds, ears and mind. When man lives, with close proximity to nature. Yes. The contemporary England man in industrial period, did not listen to the voices and noises of nature as man was busy with industrial factories. දරුවනේ poem කීපේ බලාගන්න මම පොඩ්ඩක් මට විනාඩි 5ක් you want 5 minutes. Right. Sorry. Listen to the voices and noises of nature. You okay? Nisra listening?
Yes, sir.
All right. John Keats when suffering from the severe pain of tuberculosis, I spent his time in different places as a means of getting rid of his pain, and on one evening he was sitting under a plum tree, PLUM, plum tree, and listen to the sweet singing and musical voice of A nightingale. Nightingale. Right. In writing the poem, Ode to a Nightingale, the poet shows how far mankind can enjoy the mm, beauty of nature. Beauty of nature. Yes. Industrial man was not sensitive to production of nature as man was busy all the time with the factory machinery. Right. Full stop. In this poem, we meet the narrator a dying man who gives a new interpretation to nature. Yes. The narrator says that his heart aches and aches and he feels a drowsy numbness, numbness, and he feels like he is taken towards the river of Leith, L capital L-E-T-H, Leith, in underworld, which means he is at the door of death. At the door of death. Right. But he is overjoyed with the musical sound of the bird nightingale that sings on the sea. Yes. To the narrator, that musical voice is like drinking wine from a vat, vat, that was buried, buried, buried inside the floor for a long time. And just like tasting flora, Flora, flora. Yes. In an imagination, the narrator goes to the heaven in Greek mythologian drinks ambrosia from blushful, blushful, Hippocrene, H capital, HI, double PO, CREN, Hippocrene, and gets his mouth purple stained, Yes. The narrator tells that his body becomes weak and spectra thin, SPCR, SPECTR, spectra thin, thin, and is about to die with his eyes giving the color of lead, LE, AD. Lead. And mind full of sorrows. And mind full of sorrows. Yes. Therefore, beautiful girls cannot keep their lustrous, lustrous, lustrous eyes at healthy and strong young men tomorrow. Yes. According to the narrator,
ස්ට්‍රෝං කිව්වට පස්සේ ටිකක් චුට්ටක් කියන්න. ස්ට්‍රෝං කිව්වට පස්සේ ටිකක් චුට්ටක් කියන්න.
strong young men tomorrow. Strong young men tomorrow. Yes. According to the poet, tender is the night, and happily the queen moon, Q capital, M capital, moon, is on the throne, 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 clustered, CLUSTERD, clustered around by all her starry, STARRY, starry face, FAYS, face. Yes. It is the evening time that he could not see the environment clearly. The poet, being attracted to the voice of the bird, addresses her as immortal bird. Yes. He feels like himself flying with the bird when It is flying far away. Flying far away. Yes. Of course, the poet thus deals with beauty of nature, um, which is a type of natural gift. Yes. The poet listens to that music, musical voice with a lot of entertainment. Right. Newkara. During the Victorian age, poets of England did not exaggerate the natural beauty of nature, but Gerard Manley Hopkins the leading poet of the age did that through several poems and in his poem Spring and Fall, he does the same, having employed, having employed a little girl called Margaret, who is crying when looking at the darkness of nature. Yes. In a rhetorical question, the narrator asks the little girl that is she grieving over golden grove, G capital, Golden, golden grove, 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 unleavened. Yes. Her tender mind cannot understand what is happening in nature. Full stop. Therefore, the little girl's mind is shocked at the different appearance of nature. Yes. The poet tries to console the girl, telling that when she grows older, she will come to know of the reality of nature. Yes. Yes. The new season, spring is arriving, so that the child should not cry and weep cry and weep. Yes. The poet tries to speak of the reality of nature, that it is ever-changing, and bringing sadness for the mankind. Bringing sadness for the mankind. Yes. Thus, Hopkins produces the natural beauty of nature through this poem. Yes. Nimprara. In writing the poem to a snowdrop, William Wordsworth, the father of Romanticism of England, addresses the flower of snowdrops blooming with its convincing, CONVINC, convincing splendor, SPLENDOUR, splendor, in one morning, in the garden. Give me 1 minute. Yes. With a personification and lot of exaggeration exaggeration. The narrator addresses the snowdrop flower just like addressing a human being. Yes, as the poet says, the lone flower, hemmed, H-E-M-M-E-D, hemmed, in with snows and white, and he sees that the flower blending its head, its forehead, forehead, as if it is fearful to offend, like an unbidden, UNBIDDEN, unbidden guest. That means uninvited, yes. That means the poet imagines that the flower is bending because it feels that it is guilty for appearing in this garden without any invitation. Yes. Outside, day by day, nature creates storms, Saline, SALLYING, saline, from the mountain tops. Yes. The rising sun descends. DESCENDS, descends on the plain, PLAIN, plain. Yes. According to the narrator, he welcomes the snowdrop flower as a friend. Snowdrop flower as a friend. Yes. In addition to that, there are bright jonquils, 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 that combine with the snowdrop to aggravate the beauty of nature. Aggravate the beauty of nature. Yes. The presence of this flower heralds, HERLDS, heralds the arrival of the season of spring. New para. The modern, at least three Indian abihatarak yang tang ilangkan yang the modern American poet Robert Frost in writing his poem Design deals with the ever-changing beauty and predatory PREDATOR, predatory behavior of nature, through a dead spider. Yes. The narrator tells that he found a dimpled spider, fat and white, on a white heel, H-E-A-L, heel, dash A-double, it's a flower, heel, holding up a moth, M-O-T-H. අර dead spider කිව්ව නේද? Dead moth, M-O-T-H, dead moth. ඉස්සලා කිව්ව behavior of nature, dead spider කියලා dead moth, all having, holding up a moth like a white piece of rigid, R-I-G-I-D, rigid satin cloth, satin cloth. Yes. Heel all is a beautiful white flower, that inspires humans emotions, but on it death is also present, that a spider has caught a moth, right? The poet sees the wings of the moth drifting, drifting, with the wind, just like paper kite, just like a paper kite. Yes. The heel flower, is innocent and helpless when the spider catches, the moth on it. Yes. It is also ironical when associated with the name of the flower Heelol. Name of the flower Heelol. Then ඔක්කොම සූපත් කරනවා කියන්නේ Heelol. But what happened? There's a death. Yes. The poet questions what brought the spider to that height, H-E-I-G-H-T, height. Yes, of course, that is the nature of nature. ස්වභාවධර්මයන්ගේ ස්වභාවය. The nature of nature. ස්වභාවධර්මයෙන් කියන අපි the දාන්නේ. හරි. The nature of nature, because the flower has been given bright white to guide insects to gather insects to come and gather nectar, malpani, gather nectar at night. Yes. That nature is constant and cannot be changed. Yes. When we analyze these four poems in a subtle, S-U-B-T-L-E, subtle manner, in this way, yes, the beauty of nature is involuntarily defined. Right. Nisa, can you read this?
Okay, sir. Critically analyze one of the following: the description of beauty, both natural and human-made, at least 3 prescribed poems. In our syllabus, there are 4 poems that describe natural and human-made beauty. One poet is John Keats, the leading romantic poet who celebrates the natural beauty through his poem Ode to a Nightingale. The father of romanticism in England, William Wordsworth, writes the poem to a snowdrop, exaggerating the beauty of nature. Robert Frosten, in his poem Design, the Victorian poet Gerard Manley Hopkins, in his poem Spring and Fall, also do the same. John Keats, the leading nature romantic, composing his relatively long poem "Ode to a Nightingale," shows how far mankind can entertain the natural beauty that pleases both ears and minds when man lives with a close mm, proximity to nature. The contemporary England man in industrial period did not listen to the voices and noises of nature as man was busy with industrial factories. John Keats, when suffering from the severe pain of tuberculosis, spent his time in different places as a means of getting rid of his pain. And on one evening, he was sitting under a plum tree and listened to the sweet singing and musical voice of a nightingale. In writing the poem "Ode to a Nightingale," the poet shows how far mankind can enjoy the beauty of nature. Industrial man was not sensitive to production of nature as man was busy all the time with the factory machinery. In this poem, we meet the narrator, a dying man who gives a new interpretation to nature. The narrator says that his heart aches and he feels drowsy numbness and he feels like he is taken towards the river of Leith in underworld, which means he is at the day of at the he is at the door of death, but he is overjoyed with the musical sound of the bird nightingale that sings on the sea. To the narrator, the musical voice is like drinking wine from the vat and was buried inside the floor for a long time and just like tasting flora. In an imagination, the narrator goes to the heaven in Greek mythology and drinks ambrosia from brushful hypocrane and gets his mouth purple stained. The narrator tells that his body becomes weak and spectral thing and is about to die with his eyes in the color lead and mind full of sorrows. Therefore, beautiful girls cannot keep their lustrous eyes of healthy and strong young men tomorrow. According to the narrator, tender is the night, and happily the green moon is on the throne, clustered around by all her starry face. It is the evening time that he could not see the environment clearly. The poet, being attracted to the voice of the bird, addresses her as immortal bird. He feels like himself flying with the bird when it is flying far away. Of course, the poet thus deals with the beauty of the nature, which is a type of a natural gift. The poet listens to the musical voice with a lot of entertainment. During the Victorian age, poets of England did not exaggerate the natural beauty of nature, but Gerard Manley Hawkins, the leading poet of the age, did that. Though several poems in his poem Spring and Fall, he does the same, having employed a little girl called Margaret, who is crying when looking at the darkness of nature. In a rhetorical question, the narrator asks the little girl that is she grieving over golden grove unleaving? Her tender mind cannot understand what is happening in nature. Therefore, the little girl's mind is shocked at the different appearance of nature. The poet tries to console the girl, telling that when she grows older, she will come to know of the reality of nature. The new season, spring, is arriving, so that the child should not cry and weep. The poet tries to speak of the reality of nature, that it is ever changing and bringing sadness for the mankind. Thus, Hawkins produces the natural beauty of nature through this poem. In writing the poem to a snowdrop, William Wordsworth, the father of Romanticism of England, addresses the flower snowdrop blooming with its convincing splendor on one morning in the garden. With a personification and a lot of exaggeration, the narrator addresses the snowdrop flower just like addressing a human being. As the poet says, the lone flower hemmed in with snows and white, and he sees the flower bleeding in its forehead as if fearful to offend like an unbidden guest. That means the poet imagines that the flower is bending because it feels that is guilty for appearing in this garden without any invitation. Outside, day by day, nature creates storms falling from the mountain tops. The rising sun descends on the plain. According to the narrator, he welcomes the snowdrop flower as a friend. In addition to that, there are bright jonquils that combine with the snowdrop to aggravate the beauty of nature. The presence of this flower heralds the arrival of the season of spring. The modern American poet Robert Frost, in writing his poem Design, deals with the ever changing beauty and predatory behavior of nature through a dead moth. The narrator tells that he found a dimpled spider, fat and white, on a white heel, all holding up a moth like a white piece of rigid satin cloth. Heel all is a beautiful white flower that inspires humans' emotions, but on it, death is also present. That a spider has caught a moth. The poet sees wings of the moth drifting with the wind, just like a paper kite. The heel all flower is innocent and helpless when the spider catches the moth on it. It is also ironical when associated with the name of the flower heel all. The poet questions that what brought the spider to that height. Of course, that is the nature of nature. Because the flower has been given a bright white to guide insect to come to and gather nectar at night. That is nature. That nature is constant and cannot be changed. When we analyze these four poems in a subtle manner, in this way, the beauty of nature is involuntarily defined.
right. හෙට උදේ පුළුවන් නේද ඔයාලට?
පුළුවන් sir.
ලක්මී?
Cancel.
All right. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Let's meet. Okay. Right. Good night.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir.